Lesson of hastening the judgment. A father and his daughter were playing in the park. His young daughter spotted an apple vendor. She asked her father to buy her an apple. Father didn't bring much money with him, but it was enough to purchase 2 apples. So, he bought 2 apples and gave his daughter. His daughter held 1 apple each in her 2 hands. Then a father asked her if she can share 1 apple with him. Upon hearing this, his daughter quickly took a bite from 1 apple. And before her father could speak, she also took a bite from the 2nd apple. A father was surprised. He wondered what mistake he made raising her daughter that she acted in such a greedy way. His mind was lost in thoughts, that perhaps he is just thinking too much, his daughter is too young to understand about sharing and giving. A smile had disappeared from his face. And suddenly his daughter with an apple in her one hand said, "Father, have this one is much juiciest and sweeter." Her father was speechless. He felt bad about reaching to the judgment so quickly about a small child. But, his smile came back now knowing why his daughter quickly took a bite from each apple. Moral: don't judge anything too quickly or reach a conclusion. Always spare a time to understand things better. The Travelers and the Plane Tree. 2 men were walking along one summer day. Soon it became too hot to go any further and, seeing a large plane tree nearby, they threw themselves on the ground to rest in its shade. Gazing up into the branches, one man said to the other, "What a useless tree this is. It does not have fruit or nuts that we can eat, and we cannot even use its wood for anything." "Don't be so ungrateful," rustled the tree in reply. "I am being extremely useful to you at this very moment, shielding you from the hot sun. And you call me a good-for-nothing." Moral: all of God's creations have a good purpose. We should never belittle God's blessings. Boy's job appraisal. A little boy went into a drugstore, reached for a soda carton and pulled it over to the telephone. He climbed onto the carton so that he could reach the buttons on the phone and proceeded to punch in 7 digits, phone numbers. The store owner observed and listened to the conversation. Boy: "Lady, can you give me the job of cutting your lawn?" Woman, at the other end of the phone line: "I already have someone to cut my lawn." Boy: "Lady, I will cut your lawn for half the price of the person who cuts your lawn now." Woman: "I'm very satisfied with the person who is presently cutting my lawn." Boy, with more perseverance: "Lady, I'll even sweep your curb and your sidewalk, so on Sunday you will have the prettiest lawn in all of Palm Beach, Florida." Woman: "No, thank you." With a smile on his face, the little boy replaced the receiver. The store owner, who was listening to all this, walked over to the boy. Store owner: "Son, I like your attitude, I like that positive spirit and would like to offer you a job." Boy: "No thanks." Store owner: "But you were really pleading for one." Boy: "No sir, I was just checking my performance at the job I already have. I am the one who is working for that lady I was talking to!" Moral: this is what we call self-appraisal. Every time if we don't get ahead of others, we blame others for it. We should look to ourselves and compare, find own weaknesses and work hard to throw away weaknesses. Always work hard, honest and with full dedication. It will always pay up. Keep your dream. I have a friend named Monty Roberts who owns a horse ranch in San Isidro. He had let me use his horse ranch to put on fundraising events to raise money for youth at-risk programs. The last time I was there he introduced me by saying, "I want to tell you why I let you use my horse ranch." It all goes back to a story about a young man who was the son of an itinerant horse trainer who would go from stable to stable, racetrack to racetrack, farm to farm and ranch to ranch, training horses. As a result, the boy's high school career was continually interrupted. When he was a senior, he was asked to write a paper about what he wanted to be and do when he grew up. That night he wrote a 7-page paper describing his goal of someday owning a horse ranch. He wrote about his dream in great detail, and he even drew a diagram of a 200-acre ranch, showing the location of all the buildings, the stables, and the track. Then he drew a detailed floor plan for a 4,000-square-foot house that would sit on a 200-acre dream ranch. He put a great deal of his heart into the project, and the next day he handed it in to his teacher. 2 days later he received his paper back. On the front page was a large red F with a note that read, "See me after class." The boy with the dream went to see the teacher after class and asked, "Why did I receive an F?" The teacher said, "This is an unrealistic dream for a young boy like you. You have no money. You come from an itinerant family. You have no resources. Owning a horse ranch requires a lot of money. You have to buy the land. You have to pay for the original breeding stock, and later you'll have to pay large stud fees. There's no way you could ever do it." Then the teacher added, "If you will rewrite this paper with a more realistic goal, I will reconsider your grade." The boy went home and thought about it long and hard. He asked his father what he should do. His father said, "Look, son, you have to make up your own mind on this. However, I think it is a very important decision for you." Finally, after sitting with it for a week, the boy turned in the same paper, making no changes at all. He stated, "You can keep the F and I'll keep my dream." Monty then turned to the assembled group and said, "I tell you this story because you are sitting in my 4,000-square-foot house in the middle of my 200-acre horse ranch. I still have that school paper framed over the fireplace." He added, "The best part of the story is that 2 summers ago that same school teacher brought 30 kids to camp out on my ranch for a week." When the teacher was leaving, he said, "Look, Monty, I can tell you this now. When I was your teacher, I was something of a dream stealer. During those years I stole a lot of kids' dreams. Fortunately, you had enough gumption not to give up on yours." Moral: don't let anyone steal your dreams. Follow your heart, no matter what. No dream is too big or too small when one works hard to live it. One should always try making dreams come true no matter what. The Dreaming Priest. Long time ago there lived a priest who was extremely lazy and poor at the same time. He did not want to do any hard work but used to dream of being rich one day. He got his food by begging for alms. One morning he got a pot of milk as part of the alms. He was extremely delighted and went home with the pot of milk. He boiled the milk, drank some of it and put the remaining milk in a pot. He added slight curds in the pot for converting the milk to curd. He then lay down to sleep. Soon he started imagining about the pot of curd while he lay asleep. He dreamed that if he could become rich somehow all his miseries would be gone. His thoughts turned to the pot of milk he had set to form curd. He dreamed on. By morning the pot of milk would set, it would be converted to curd. I would churn the curd and make butter from it. I would heat the butter and make ghee out of it. I will then go to that market and sell that ghee, and make some money. With that money I will buy a hen. The hen will lay May eggs which will hatch and there will be many chicken. These chicken will in turn lay hundreds of eggs and I will soon have a poultry farm of my own." He kept on imagining. "I will sell all the hens of my poultry and buy some cows, and open a milk dairy. All the town people will buy milk from me. I will be very rich and soon I shall buy jewels. The king will buy all the jewels from me. I will be so rich that I will be able to marry an exceptionally beautiful girl from a rich family. Soon I will have a handsome son. If he does any mischief I will be very angry and to teach him a lesson, I will hit him with a big stick." During this dream, he involuntarily picked up the stick next to his bed and thinking that he was beating his son, raised the stick and hit the pot. The pot of milk broke and he awoke from his daydream. Moral: there is no substitute for hard work. Dreams cannot be fulfilled without hard work. 2 frogs. A group of frogs was traveling through the woods and two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs saw how deep the pit was, they told the two frogs that they were as good as dead. The two frogs ignored the comments and tried to jump up out of the pit with all their might. The other frogs kept telling them to stop, that they were as good as dead. Finally, one of the frogs took heed to what the other frogs were saying and gave up. He fell down and died. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Once again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frogs said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was deaf. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time. Moral: there is power of life and death in the tongue. An encouraging word to someone who is down can lift them up and help them make it through the day. So be careful of what you say. Speak life to those who cross your path. The power of words. It is sometimes hard to understand that an encouraging word can go such a long way.